Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Being a homeschooling mom of many has its perks, and when you've been doing it for years, this is our 11th year, there are really some cool patterns that you start to notice. You start to be able to take notice to when certain transitions happen as a child develops and ages. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned in that today, and I'm calling it the 3 phases of homeschooling. It's very typical when you think of an education to think of something that looks pretty much the same from kindergarten up through 12th grade, whether it's in school or whether it's a lot of people when they envision what homeschooling looks like. They picture kids sitting at a table or a desk and they're working on a textbook or doing worksheets, and this is something that you see happening all throughout their years. And you know what? There are a lot of homeschooling families that do things that way. And that's how most people view education because they only know what goes on in the traditional school model. But what I've noticed as a relaxed homeschooler who doesn't follow that method is that there are certain phases that kids go through when it comes to homeschooling. And it's really helpful to be able to kind of hone in on what exactly you might want to try doing during those specific times. So I'm going to go over that with you today. So the first phase is what I call the littles, and that is anywhere from age 5 up to maybe 8. And now all of the ages that I give you are just examples. As I say all the time, kids are all different. They all develop on their own timeline. This is really just a generality, just to give you an idea. But in the 5 to 8 age group, what very often happens is that kids are first learning how to focus on reading, writing, and arithmetic. And that is a really important time for kids to get those foundational skills down. Because if your children know how to do those things, they will be equipped to know how to do anything else that follows when it comes to learning. And so another thing that you need to keep in mind is that at this very young age, children really still are learning the most through play. They're learning the most through watching their parents live life, through living life themselves, through observing other people live life, by participating in things, by going along with their parents to do errands. This is the way that age group is really learning best. And while, a lot of kids around this age might find it fun, to do a couple unit studies here and there to learn about the things that they enjoy, what you really, really do want to focus on at this point is that reading, writing, and arithmetic, and everything else they can easily learn through play. So then you move into the second phase of homeschooling, which is usually from around the age of 9 till around 12 or 13. And again, these are just example ages. So in that middle group, by this point, kids usually have those basic skills down pat. And this is when it comes time to move into learning about all of the other things, all of those other subject areas. And I want to mention, because I know that a lot of states have specific laws that you have to teach kids, even younger kids. And so I just want to reiterate that even though you're focusing on 3 R's with littles, you are easily covering things like history and science and art just through their day-to-day playing, through their day-to-day living, through read-alouds that you're doing with them. This isn't something that you are shirking on your responsibilities. But moving back into the middles. So now that they already have all of those skills down pat, this is honestly my favorite time to homeschool, because this is the time that you can almost kind of set out like a smorgasbord of learning, a buffet of learning for your kids. And you can start introducing them to all kinds of topics. Now, some topics they might want to learn more about because it interests them an awful lot. So you're going to delve more deeply into them. Other topics they might not, really want to learn too much about, but you're at least touching on it. What this age is really about is introducing your kids to so many different things that they could be learning about, and this could possibly help them to develop interests in a future career. It could help them just be able to satisfy their curiosity about certain things. And this is really at the point where, yes, they're still working on the reading, writing, and arithmetic skills, but they're getting more advanced now, and they can start using those skills to work them into learning about social studies and science. And this is really the time that I really enjoy doing unit studies with my kids of this age, just because they are so interested in doing those hands-on things, and they are writing well enough that you can start having them do notebooking pages, or you can start having them write reports or essays depending on their skills. You can start teaching them how to research things at this age. And again, there is just, people always worry about gaps in learning. They're always afraid of that. And you know what? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Your kids are going to have gaps in their learning. Everyone, no matter where they are educated, is going to have gaps in their learning, because our world has so many things that you can learn about. There is no possible way that your kids are going to learn about everything, because it almost seems like the topics that you could be studying are never ending. But really, this middle age, this age up to 8th grade, is really the time for you to start introducing your kids to the world and to all of the topics that they can be learning about, and to help them do some more advanced activities as they're getting older. So the last phase then is the teen years, or the high school years. So this is going to be from around the age of 14 to 17 or 18, or whenever they graduate. And I know that a lot of people tend to just picture this year, these are the years that they're really going to be diving into those textbooks, and they're going to start spending 6 or 7 hours a day on their schoolwork. And that has not been my experience when it has come to my homeschooled high schoolers. What I have found at this age is that this is when they really become independent. They have had all of that experience with homeschooling and being introduced to all of those other topics, and they've seen examples of the things that you can do with them, activities that you can do, ways that you can approach certain things that don't have to come through textbooks. And this is that time where they can start learning to be responsible, start learning to be independent, and they can start approaching those topics that they want to really pretty much on their own. Now, this isn't to say that high schoolers will never need help from you with any of their work. My high schoolers still feel good when I sit next to them as they're doing their algebra. Even if they don't specifically need me, they feel better having me sit there as they're doing it. So I'm not ever going to say that this is the time that you should stop helping your kids because they're too old. Your kids are never too old. If they need your help, help them. But beyond working independently at this point, and they should have had so many examples of how to do this by now, they are really at the age where they will be getting involved in the world around them. They might get a job. They might start going out independently with their friends more often. They might start volunteering somewhere. And I think that we so often just put so much focus on the academic section of high school that we forget that what we really need to be helping our kids with at this point is learning all of those life skills that so many high schoolers just don't learn about nowadays. If your kids have been training up to this point to be able to work independently, to work on their time management, to be responsible, and if they've been given the freedom to tackle those subject areas that they enjoy, because I'm going to give you a hint, those are likely the subject areas that are going to help them in their careers one day. So give them that advantage, give them that opportunity, show them that you trust them. So really, the teen years is more about independence, to me at least, than it is about having them crack down on those textbooks. Because if they have been honing all of those skills that, all throughout those years, as they have been advancing their reading, writing, and math skills, and learning more about writing skills, and all of the subject areas that come as kids get older, they're going to tackle those things efficiently on their own if they know that you trust them and if they know that you as a parent are there to help them if they need it. And so anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one over on Instagram because YouTube disabled my comments. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.